Hey everybody, it is Eric and I just finished the finale, episode 10 of season 1 of the House of Dragon. And wow, powerful, emotional, heartbreaking episode. This is not Ted Lasso. This is heavy stuff here. I loved episode 8. I thought watching a dying king struggle to get to his throne and have his brother pick up his crown that fell on the ground. I thought in episode 8 that scene was more powerful than any stupid battle that was in Rings of Power. And in this episode, the season finale, I mean, there were moments here that are so heartbreaking. There are moments here that we're going to remember in Game of Thrones mythology for a very long time. Let's get into this. Luke, Rhaenyra's son, starts off this episode. Fitting. And he tells his mom, Rhaenyra, that he doesn't want to be Lord of the Driftmark. We start off with Luke. And then Rhaenys arrives at Dragonstone and tells Rhaenyra and Damon that Viserys is dead and that Alicent crowned her son Aegon king instead of following the wishes of Viserys and making Rhaenyra queen. So Damon thinks that Viserys, his brother, was murdered, and Rhaenys warns them that the Greens are coming for them. And then Rhaenyra goes into labor. She reaches down. There's blood between her legs, and it's a very difficult and long labor. And Damon goes off to plan for war. Damon knows war is coming. Rhaenyra, in the beginning of this episode, wants to do everything to avoid war. We have a next scene here where Prince Damon makes 2 Kingsguard swear allegiance to Rhaenyra, or they're going to face death by dragon. And if they pledge their allegiance to Rhaenyra and then get cute and change their mind, they're going to have a long and painful death by dragon. We go back to Rhaenyra's labor, and she's struggling. She's standing up. She doesn't want help from anyone. Again, this performance is just amazing. Just the physical acting here. We're going to see a lot of it from this actress that plays Rhaenyra. It's powerful. And she reaches down and pulls the baby out of her. And we see that the umbilical cord is around the baby's neck and the child is stillborn. And so it's just heartbreaking. These next few scenes of Rhaenyra wrapping up the dead baby for the funeral, just powerful. And after the funeral, Sir Eric, one of the twins, shows up and offers Rhaenyra the Targaryen crown. And everyone bows, except Rhaenys, and they put the crown on Rhaenyra's head. We have a meeting around this awesome table at Dragonstone where they light underneath the table and it glows through and it shows all the houses in Westeros. It's just an awesome looking table, awesome looking set. Again, like just this set alone, this room looks so much more convincing than anything in Rings of Power. It's embarrassing what Amazon gave us. Just everything in this show, House of the Dragon, looks so damn good. And there's a lot of talk and time spent on which houses will join Rhaenyra, and houses will come to her aid. And then some dude says, we don't need to worry about men and houses. Rhaenyra, you have dragons. And Rhaenyra's like, well, you know, the Greens, they have dragons too. But I think it's Damon that says, well, we have more dragons. And there are wild dragons here and wild dragons there. And we can have a lot more dragons. All right, next up, that scumbag Otto Hightower has the balls to go to Dragonstone. He asks, where's Princess Rhaenyra? And then Rhaenyra comes flying in on her dragon with the crown on her head like a badass. And then when Otto says, Princess Rhaenyra, she says, I'm Queen Rhaenyra. And Otto offers terms to Rhaenyra. Prince Damon says this is all a bunch of bullshit. And the king is the boy on the throne there in King's Landing is a drunk see you next Tuesday. You gotta love Prince Damon. He's like my favorite character. Rhaenyra calls Otto Hightower an effing traitor, And Otto hands her a page from a book that Alicent and Rhaenyra enjoyed as kids, right? It's sort of like a peace offering terms. And Damon's just like, listen, why don't I just what? What did he say? He had a graphic way of saying, let's just kill Otto and, yeah, be done with this. And Rhaenyra says, no, King's Landing will have my answer to their terms tomorrow. And basically the terms are, we'll leave you alone and your kids are just going to be cupbearers. And Damon's like, my kids will not be cupbearers. So Rhaenyra meets with her council and considers the terms. Damon challenges Rhaenyra in front of everybody. And Rhaenyra says, clear the room. And Rhaenyra tries to share with Damon the prophecy of a song of ice and fire. The point she's trying to make is, listen, maybe it's my duty to accept the terms, keep peace in the realm, because there's a larger threat out there, and we need to try to stay united as much as possible. And Damon just chokes her. Damon does not believe in dreams. So, yeah, Damon knows his path and what it's going to be. The sea snake, we see him and he is alive. And the sea snake and Rhaenys approach Rhaenyra's council and give their support to Rhaenyra. And the sea snake says he took the stepping stones so they could use the stepping stones to sort of launch a fleet and surround King's Landing. All right, so when this next scene happened, I knew it was going to be trouble right away. Not good at all. So Rhaenyra sends her boys to fly to the other houses to get their support. Send them by dragon because it's quicker than by raven. So they're going to send the boys to House Stark and House Baratheon. And yeah, I'm like, that's not a good idea. And then we cut to Prince Damon. And he's in the dragon pit of Dragonstone. He's singing an old Valyrian. He knows war is coming, and he's singing, and out of the darkness comes his dragon, the big head of his dragon, and his dragon breathes fire and lights up the whole chamber. The dragon looked absolutely badass. We get a close-up of the dragon's face and the dragon's eye. Basically, Damon and his dragon, they know war is coming, and they're ready for war. Rhaenyra's trying to be diplomatic and trying not to make the first strike, and yeah. So anyway, Rhaenyra's son Luke shows up to House Baratheon by his very small dragon, who lands, and Luke sees that there is Vhagar there, who's the biggest dragon in existence at this time, and it's like Godzilla compared to like Luke's dragon that basically looks like a chicken. It's that pathetic. I gotta give Luke credit. He walks in to the Baratheon chamber with Lord Boris there and hands the message to Lord Boris, and Lord Boris is a big prick, and Aemon's right there. And Boris says, well, you want my loyalty, but Aemon here offered us a better deal, and so get out of here, pup. And then Aemon speaks up and says, no, he challenges Luke and says, I want an eye for an eye. I'm going to take your eye home to my mother as a gift. And Lord Boris says, there'll be no fighting in this chamber. And sure, Luke gets out of there. I think there's like a storm brewing, and Luke gets on Arax's dragon, and they're flying away. There's a storm. It's just they're struggling. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Vhagar is just going to come right out. Aemon is going to be hot on their heels with Vhagar. And sure enough, yes, this gigantic dragon, Vhagar, just attacks the tiny Arax and Luke. And yeah, it's a really cool scene. There's a big chase scene, and Aemon is enjoying this. He's laughing as he's harassing Luke on his dragon. It does look like Luke can get away because he has the smaller dragon. He goes, in that canyon as Vhagar hovers above. And I thought for a second that maybe Luke would get away, but apparently the dragons then misbehave, is what I read out of this. Because Arax, Luke's dragon, sort of attacks Vhagar and breathes fire on Vhagar. And Aemond is like telling Vhagar, listen, you got to listen to me, like, knock it off. And then Vhagar gets pissed and just in one big bite. It was like sad, but it looked great, but it was just so like brutal and sudden. This, Vhagar just basically chomps Arax and Luke, and there's like dragon bits just falling from the sky. I mean, it was one of those moments in this Game of Thrones like mythology that I don't think you're going to forget. It's very powerful. It's just simple, bang, and like just guts, just falling back to the earth. And I think Aemond realized, it was all a game to him, and maybe he did want an eye, but at that moment he's like, I think he did notice that, this is not gonna, I think I went too far here, and I think I started something, because he sure did. Then we go back to Dragonstone, and Damon quietly walks around the table to Rhaenyra, who's organizing everybody, and I think, if I recall correctly, Damon like whispers into Rhaenyra's ear, and you know what he's saying. He's saying, your son has just been killed. And just Rhaenyra has her back to us. It's just so powerful in front of the fireplace. And just her body language. She delivered a stillborn son or a child in the beginning of the episode, and now her other son, Luke, is dead. And she's just like hunching over. And I noticed that the music was getting all warped. Right? The music was excellent. It took the traditional like themes we have in the show, but it's like taking a record and like slowing it down, like it was getting all warped. And then Rhaenyra faces us, and she's a different Rhaenyra. And the Rhaenyra that wanted diplomacy and not to make the first strike and not to start war, that Rhaenyra is gone. And we have a very focused Rhaenyra on war and revenge. And that's how the episode ends. All right, well, that's it. Season 1 of The House of the Dragon. And I think this season only got better as things rolled along. I think episode 8 and 10 were just fantastic. 9 had that hiccup. But wow, I mean, what a journey with these characters. I mean, there really are no good guys or bad guys. The show does a great job developing all these characters, except Otto Hightower. He's just I think he is a bad guy. But everybody else, you can kind of see where everybody is coming from and how they all got to where they are and why they did the things they did. And that's what makes the show so interesting. All these characters are so well written, and the performances are fantastic. The production is the best on television. I do expect a lot of awards for this show. It was just fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about season 1 of The House of the Dragon. I think it's a big success. It blows away the other fantasy show I had to watch for weeks and weeks called Rings of Power. That was a big old turd, but House of the Dragon is excellent. All right, everybody, let me know in the comments what you think. Smash that like button. Share my videos with people. Let's grow our channel, because it is our channel. I like your comments, and I like to talk to you guys. Everybody, have a great day, a great week. I will see you soon for Andor. And as always, I will see you on the new